Good morning, students. From chapter number 9, Financial Management. And the topic which we'll be discussing today is financial planning. So, before starting today's topic, let's have a quick revision of our previous topic, that was dividend decision. Student, as we have already discussed that in finance management, three important decisions are very important. First was investment, then financing, and the last one was dividend decision. So dividend decision are the financial decisions, student, related to the distribution of share or profit among the shareholders in the form of dividend. The dividend decision involves deciding the amount of profit to be distributed to the shareholders as dividend and the amount of profit to be retained as retained earning for further future expansion or growth of a business. Dividend decision, student, is very important because overall objective of any company is to give maximum wealth to their shareholders, which is basically derived from the profit only, and this profit is been given to the shareholders as a part of dividend. So while taking decision for dividend, there are various factors involved in this, like what will be the earning, what will be the stability of earning, what will be the stability of dividend growth opportunity, the cash flow position of the business, what will be the shareholders preference, what will be the taxation policy, which we have discussed in our previous studies. Okay, so these factors should be considered while taking decision on dividend decision, which concern for selecting how much portion we should keep for retained earning and how much portion we should distribute it as a form of dividend to a shareholder. Okay, now let's start with today's topic, that is financial planning. If we talk about financial planning, student, financial planning is a process of estimating the requirement of funds by an organization for its various needs and figuring out the source of this fund. So financial planning is the process of planning your finance for future. Okay, so student, what planning is associated? Planning is thinking what you will be doing in future. Here the financial word is associated, that deals with finance, that deals with money. So here whatever planning we are making, that is in regards to the finance, yeah, funds of that company. So planning is a very important activity, and financial planning is the most important function of any organization. It is important for a business organization to have sufficient fund, because due to lack of fund they are unable to fulfill their commitment, and this leads to wasteful of expenditure, and this leads to non fulfillment of their objective. So it is very essential in financial planning. Basically we draft a blueprint of an organization future operation, how they can utilize their finance in a systematic way so that their organization goal can be achieved, in which the main focus of financial planning is to ensure that the business has sufficient fund available at right time. So here financial planning basically deals with the process of estimating financial requirement of business and identifying that various sources help to meet the requirement and utilize these resources in a most appropriate manner, so that any organization can afford its finance completely as per their future goals and objectives. It basically helps them to determine how an organization can fulfill their aim of financial resources and achieve their objective. Financial planning involve many things, student, like matching of funds requirement, availability of funds, looking up the long-term financial planning, which involves capital expenditure and long-term growth and investment. It also deals with short-term financial planning, which involve planning of day-to-day business operation, which is essential for having a organization in a working condition. Okay, so all these segment are basically a part of financial planning. Okay, now moving towards the objective of financial planning. The first objective of is obviously availability of fund. Okay, like student, we have already understood what is financial planning. The core activity of financial planning is to fulfill the funds requirement of that organization. So financial planning involves the estimation of financial requirement and time when such finance or fund will be required to meet the various needs of business. As a part of financial planning, the finance are being raised from various required funds so that the business can run and right amount of funds can be arranged at the right time. Okay, second, student deals with the confirm that funds rise are not in excess, means that we should arrange for the funds in an appropriate manner. They should not be overfunding, it should not be in excess, because it's lead to the wasteful expenditure of funds. Okay, so here we deals that the timely funding is a main objective. In this, the company should ensure that there is never inadequate funding, and if there is any surplus funds in the business, they must put to the best possible use, so that unused fund added to the cost of wasteful expenditure can be avoided. Okay, now moving towards the importance of financial planning. Okay, student, from above you must be very clear that financial planning is basically a lifeline of every business organization. It basically help in planning and smooth functioning of any organization, which basically enable them to handle the uncertainty of availability and timing of funds required. That deals with various importance. The first importance come is the it help in forecasting. Okay, so financial planning tries to forecast the company future under different business situation and prepare that company to handle that future in a better way through proper forecasting, through proper planning of fund requirement. Okay, like I give you an example. Suppose a company may plan to achieve 20% growth in sales, but the actual growth rate may be less or more than the planned. So financial planning may prepare a growth rate that can be of 20%, yeah, 10%. That with this blueprint, it helps the management to plan their resources in a systematic way so that they can have smooth functioning of their business and they can achieve their organization goal of 20% growth in the sale. So here the forecasting built a blueprint which helped an organization to achieve their goal. Okay. Then we have it help in preparing for business shocks. Students, you know that business risk, it's full of certainty. As you know, student, business is full of uncertainty and risk. Always walk together with the business. In such situation, a proper financial planning help the business to face the different situation and save the business from shocks and the surprises and the uncertainty that has been prepared them to face its future and help the firm to face this uncertainty in a systematic way. Then we have it help in coordination of various business function. Financial planning basically coordinate the various function that is performed by a business organization, like providing clear policies, procedure, and a proper format, a proper blueprint of financial activity as per which the financing is done of that organization, which help them to conduct their objective or their result as based on that financial planning. So financial planning help them to fulfill their all functions of marketing, purchasing in a proper and in a coordinate way, because everything is already been planned in a coordination way, in a systematic way. Okay. Next we have it help in optimum utilization of resources. Obviously, if everything is planned in a systematic way, so definitely the whatever resources we are using, that will be utilized in a systematic way, in an efficient way, in an effective way, in a best possible way, without any wastage or duplication of work. So financial planning prepare a detailed plan of action which reduces the gap in planning and duplication, yeah, wastage of work. It reduces these efforts so that the things or the resources can be optimally utilized. Then it's act as a link between present and future. Obviously, student, as I already told you, planning is basically seeing yourself where you are standing in future. From present situation, you are looking for the future is planning. So here financial planning is a bridge between our present and our future, which help us to reach our future position in a systematic way. When everything is planned in a systematic way, it helps us to complete our objective, to achieve our goals in a systematic way by providing a proper systematic financial plan or blueprint as per we function and achieve our future goal. Then we have its help in evaluation of actual performance. Obviously, the objective of every business is clear throughout the financial planning. That is why there is so many of evolution analysis, so which help us to know where we actually are standing. So financial planning provide a link between investment and financing decision on the continuous basis, so that we can compare our actual performance. So student, these were some of the importance. I hope all the importance have been clear to you. Let's go through some of the case study which will help you to clear your all concept. Okay. Now let's move towards a case study. Student, Raghav is trying to coordinate the function of various departments like sales and production. He has been trying to do this with the help of a concept of financial management. He quit off call people of both department and tell them to work with means. He has even prescribed a budget for it. During this time, when he is doing a lot of analysis, he connects the decision of present with the outcomes of future. This is especially he see in two of the prominent decision. One of the investment and other is financing. So the interlinking of two decision is assumed by him. When the year ends, it's easy for him to take some strong decision, and this happened because he is able to evaluate the performance of various departments in terms of revenue generated and the expenses incurred. No business is risk proof, however he knows that least business shocks which a business can suffer can minimize those, laying foundation for a better future. His involvement in work is definitely appreciable. Which concept of financial management has been highlighted here, and identify the type of this concept highlighted in above uh, case study. Okay, student, if you look out here, Raghav is basically a coordinator who's tried to coordinate between various departments like sale and production, and he basically trying to help a financial management. He often call out people of both the department and tell them how they have to work, and even he has given him a prescribed budget also. During that time, he has been doing a lot of analysis of present that help us to get the outcome of future. Okay, so basically he's focusing on two things. One is financing and another is investment decision, interlinking with both. Okay, so that some strong decisions can be taken at the year end. Okay, he basically evaluate the performance of various departments in terms of revenue generated and the expenses. Okay, so because he know that no business is risk proof, however they in future they keep on coming business shocks. Okay, so he wanted to build a layout of foundation that built a better future for the company. So here the concept which we are talking about is financial planning. Student, you already know that the financial planning is basically focusing how we can have a good lay foundation of a company towards the better future by analyzing its various financial planning in a systematic way. Okay, and about identifying the type is basically highlighted about the importance of financial planning, which we have already discussed previously. Like it help us to coordinate with various business function, it help us to link the present with the future, it help us to connect, it help us to in linking the investment decision with the financing. Okay, so these are some important things which focus that it is basically about financial planning, and it's also help in avoiding business risk that prepare company for future uncertainty. Okay, now next we have Somnath Limited is engaged in a business of exports of garment. In the past, the performance of the company had been to the exception. In line with the latest technology, the company decided to upgrade its machinery. For this, the finance manager estimated the amount of fund required and the timing. This helped the company linking the investment and decision financing decision on a continue basis, and the sale forecast of 4 years. Okay, and they basically also collected the relevant data about profit estimate of the company. By he wanted to show about the availability of fund from the internal source of the business. Okay, for remaining fund he is thinking to get some alternative source from the outside. So you need to identify the financial concept discussed. Okay, so student, very clearly Somnath Limited is basically engaged in export garment business, and from past the performance of the company had been exception in, but today the company wants to upgrade its machinery, so that the finance manager basically prepared an amount of fund required and the timing that will link the investment and financing decisions, and also prepare a sale forecast for next 4 years. By he also collected relevant data from the profit estimate of coming year, and how much fund we should require from the internal sources, and how much fund we can know for the way, what are the various alternative source from the outside. The concept which has been discussed in this case study is a very clear: financial planning. And if we talk about the objective that has been discussed here, student, so there are two objective. First, to ensure the availability of fund, because he is basically having discussion of investment and finance decision, because they need for the upgradation of machinery. So how much finance they can arrange internally and how much outsidely, so that deals with to ensure availability of funds what required, and then to see that the firm does not rise resources unnecessary, and it also making proper planning, proper budget, so that unnecessary funds are not utilized, and whatever resources are utilized we can get best possible use of those financial resources. So student, these were some case study. I hope all your concept have been clear. Okay, this is your home assignment, please do it and send it to me. Thank you.